Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome everybody. This is the fourth lesson, number 4 of the series MemoQ Basic Operator Training course. This small course is intended to teach you the basics of the operation of MemoQ, which is a CAD tool. If you are not familiar with this program, I would like to encourage you to go back to lesson 1. The program has to do with translation and it's offered to you by Arab Professional Translators Society. I would like to reiterate a point mentioned already in lesson 1 and throughout the lessons. We do not represent MemoQ, we're just explaining it, how to use it. MemoQ is an official organization. You can go there, www.memoq.com or killigray.com, and get their program so that you can receive this training on the program with the exercises provided you throughout the lessons. As a reminder, lesson 1 was about creating project folders and opening MemoQ, then changing the location settings of the files. In lesson 2, we created a memory and it created a term base. We also warned you that you cannot delete anything from your computer. Anything that's related to MemoQ must be deleted from inside MemoQ and not from the partitions of the computer. We explained the reason why. In lesson 3, we translated a file using a term base and a memory. We said that the memory is obligatory. You cannot start up a project without a memory, and the term base is optional. We also talked about something which is very important, and this is one of the most important things. In fact, we're learning MemoQ, the shortcuts. The shortcuts, here we have control. It is to view the tags and to see the input from the term bases. The memory confirm, to confirm something inside the memory. It is control and enter. In other words, when you translate something, you want it to be stored in the memory, and for that reason you have to press simultaneously Control and Enter. Control and E, it is for the memory, for the term base. Control and A to select all inside the segment. Control Shift and A to select all the segments. So this is lesson 4 now. In lesson 4 we will manage the term bases and memories. We'll talk about importation and exportation. We'll edit and modify, and we'll use some files that we have in order to export them. You need to get MemoQ 2015 for this lesson, of course, and there is a file that we will provide you with. It is TMX for UN conventions. TMX. This TMX contains many conventions by the United Nations in English and Arabic. We have also another file which is an Excel file. It's lesson 4, term bases XLSX file. So let's begin. This is now MemoQ. We have opened it, and this time we will go to the term bases first to work with them, and then we will move to the memory, and after that we will close this training session. Click on the term base here. What we want to do is to do something with the ABC company. It's from English into Arabic. We want to enter some words into that memory. There are several ways. We will teach you one of them first, and then we will move to the second one. Let's first of all put right-click, please right-click, and then go please to edit. Now here you can see the term base is giving us the words stored in this term base. Obviously there is only one of them. It's English states into Arabic. There's only one word, which is cat, as you can see. You can add the words here. What we suggest is that you add them always through MemoQ in the way that we have taught you in lesson 3. Now this is the first way in which you can enter a word or something, but usually we do not use it. It's just available for you. After you have entered into the edit of the term base, go to the new here, and then here you can write the word that you want. For example, you can write speak. Now plus, click the plus, and then يتحدث. Click also the plus. This way is not feasible. It's not good, I think, because if you do so, you are adding words without context. Usually we add them in context. It's much easier with the Ctrl and E inside the MemoQ. Now, in English, when you have 50% of prefix, what does it mean? If you open it here, 50% of prefix, it means that the computer will allow the software, the MemoQ will allow you to see the word speak, even if it is a speaking, for example, or speaks, it will give you the meaning of a speak. In other words, it will give you part of the word. We have here permissive. This is the default for the case sensitivity. If you say yes, then the MemoQ will identify only speak with a small letter. It will not identify the word with a capital letter. If you say no, then it will identify the word whether it is capital letter or small letter. We usually make it permissive. This is the default. The default is permissive, and just keep it as permissive. Now we will do another one. Please do the following. New again. This time please write the United Nations plus الأمم المتحدة plus. Now we want the United Nations also, we know it is UN. But before you do the plus now, I am adding this word to the list. Do not make it permissive. Make it yes, case sensitive. Why? If you add UN without case sensitive, what will happen is that the software will, even if it sees the word un, for example, understand, any kind of UN, it will think that you are talking here about the United Nations. For that reason, when it comes with the acronym, this is the rule, UN, case sensitivity, say yes and click plus. Now there is a problem in translation when using MemoQ or any other CAT tool from English into Arabic, because the United Nations, you entered here as الأمم المتحدة. What about if I say in Arabic للأمم المتحدة? It will not see it at all, because الأمم المتحدة is totally different word from للأمم المتحدة. For that reason, what we are going to do is also to write this one. Please write للأمم المتحدة. And be careful with the spelling. This is very important. Plus. Now again, the computer will see الأمم المتحدة, will see للأمم المتحدة, but it cannot see والأمم المتحدة, because it's a different word for the MemoQ. And the only option is to write it in this way. Now enter. So we have got so far 3 words added. This is one way of adding it. It's through the new after we put the edit. I would like to ask you now to close it. We will not need it anymore. We have closed it now. What I want you to do is to go to the Excel file, and if you open the Excel file, which is this one, lesson 4 term base, I'm just You'll see it here in a rectangle. Now here we have a couple of words that we predefined, and we will add some of them now. First of all, number one, put the language. Put it with me now. It is United. It's the English United States. And the second one, if you remember, it is Arabic. What I want you to do now is to think about these words. This one, this one, this one, they are all put in Arabic. Now here we have a problem with this one. This one and this one. The correct way of entering the words is only one word, just one word or one phrase. One word or one phrase. For example, United Nations. The correct way is just to write the phrase. You cannot say in brackets, for instance, منظمة دولية. You cannot do that. The computer will accept it, but practically it's not good at all to do so. So this one is not practical, and this one is not practical. This one is not practical, and this one is not practical. Let's see what will happen. I want you now to save the document. Save it. And then basically what we are going to do now is to imagine ourselves putting thousands of words in this Excel sheet, and we want MemoQ to use it. Close it please now. Go to MemoQ. Go to the term base. Now we want to do import. Right click, import terminology. Click import terminology. Browse and find the file. It's in this case lesson 4 term basis. Now open. Now it's telling us, because we put a heading, it's giving us the options. Make sure all the time that the options are correct. This one, English United States, the first one, yes, it is English United States, as you can see, the first column here. Make sure it is import as term. This is very important. And then go to Arabic. It's Arabic, import as term. And here it's Arabic. So you see, we put the heading in the very beginning. If you don't put the heading, there will be a problem. For that reason, please just put the heading. There is a solution for that problem, but why to bother ourselves with it? So, okay. It's importing now. Okay. And close. Let's right click and see the edit to see the words. You see them? They are all there. But here there is a problem with this one. Whenever you write window in English, it will appear like nafida or shubbak, which is not useful for the MemoQ. Let's see what we mean by that. I want you now to minimize this one. And I want you now to go to the second lesson, lesson 4, part B. So this is the file lesson 4B. Let's work with it. As we have learned in the previous lessons, what we need to now, please go to MemoQ. Just to close these things. This is the term-based page. I want you to go to translations. It is where we work. Click translations. I want you now to press the square here, just to a bit minimize, not minimize, but make it smaller. Drag and drop lesson 4 and put it here. takes some time for the preview and for the preparation of the file. It takes time also for what is called the segmentation, because the program segments the whole article in its own way. Now it's ready. Just maximize and go to the lesson 4b.docs. Please double click. As you can see, the program has opened the file. There are just 3 sentences and it has been segmented. As you can see, in the first segment we have the words already mentioned. You go to the second one, you see we have added them, and go to the third one. Now what I want you to do, as we have learned, is that whenever you start with the first letter, it continues the whole word. You see on the right window we have the suggestions for each segment. It tells us that open is يفتح. Please double click. You see it appears there. Double click نافذة وشباك, it's there. Okay. Now what I want to do is افتح الشباك. You can see now the program does not do anything with it. It does not provide me with the word because it's not there. Highlight it, please. Highlight the open. As I told you before, Control and E. In Control and E, the program is telling me there is a duplicate. Yes, there is a duplicate. Click the duplicate tab. We have open. We have يفتح. Click this yellow shape. Now here you are telling the computer that افتح and يفتح are both the same for open. The same stem, the same derivation. Click OK. Now what I want to do is to erase the word افتح and just put the first letter, which is ألف. You see, enter, just ألف and enter. النافذة, ألف, لام, نون. There is no نافذة because here it is نافذة and not النافذة. It does not recognize it. So you have to write it again and do the same thing. افتح النافذة, highlight النافذة, highlight window, Control and E, duplicates, yes, okay. But here we have the problem with this, by the way. When you want to say, for example, افتح النافذة, if it is نافذة, the computer is giving you نافذة between brackets or شباك. This is the way that you entered the word in the term base. And this is wrong. So each word should have only one equivalent. It could be one word, one phrase, but you cannot make alternatives. You cannot say نافذة أو شباك أو طاقة, etc. You cannot do that because you want it to be more practical. Control and enter, please. Control and enter, because of some settings in the MemoQ, it's trying to help you by giving some words like a machine translation. Control and Shift. If this appears to you, it may not appear, but if it appears, Control and Shift and just delete. اذهب إلى. Now I want you to الأمم المتحدة. Just press the ألف. You see, enter, and then period. Control and enter, please. And again, Control and Shift in order to delete everything inside. أحضر لي الحاسوب. I entered now Control. When you press Control, please press this now and press enter. What happens? What happens is that the computer is giving you alternatives because it is this way that you gave him. You gave him alternatives, he's giving you the alternatives, and this is not what we want. What we want is to give me just all alternatives vertically and not horizontally. أحضر لي الحاسوب. So, we did not like the computer because we think it's wrong. Go to the right screen here. I don't like it. I want to modify it. Right click, view and edit. First of all, you put it on the computer. Right click, view and edit. You see it's here. I want you now to go to the Arabic and minus. Minus, it is to delete everything. Now we write it in the right way, acceptable for the computer. Please do the following. Hasub. We want to write as many forms as possible of Hasub so that it can be recognized. I know it is something that is very difficult sometimes, but believe me, this is the only way and the best way. Plus, now, write again Al-Hasub. Now, Al-Computer plus Hasuban, for example, والحاسوب بالحاسوب. If you have done all this, now okay, see what will happen. I want you now to erase the word al-hasub from this segment. Please select it and erase. Now I want you to press Control. What will happen? It will give you all the alternatives and you can use them, but this time they are vertically and they can be used instead of having alternatives horizontally. Control and enter, and now we've finished with the turn base. For the time being, this is a nutshell. This is just in brief. The turn base is in brief. We will move to two things now. First of all, we move to the memory. Memory will do with the export and import of the turn bases. We did the import. What we'll do with the export now. Why do we need the export? If you have a friend and you want to give him the turn base, how do you export it to him? We will study that in this lesson. So this is the end of this part A of lesson 4. Please follow me on lesson 4 part B. This is now the second part of lesson 4. We will export a TMX and a memory, in other words, and we will also export turn base. We will go back to the project where we ended last time, and we were amending something in the turn base. And now I would like to ask you to close the lesson here. Keep yourself in the project, but go to the translation memories. In the translation memory, what we're going to do now is to export this memory. Why do we need to export it in the first place? You may wish your friend to help you in a project and you want him to take the same memory so that he does not translate things in the way that you do not want. Sometimes you're working in MemoQ, your friend is working in Trados and other CAD tools, and the only way to work in the memory, first of all, is to convert it into a TMX. A TMX file is something that can be read by most CAD tools. It can be read by Trados, by MemoQ, by WordFast, etc. So how to export? To export the memory, first of all, you highlight it. It's already highlighted here. And then right click. Then it's very simple. Export to TMX. A dialog box will tell you where to store it. Okay, it can be stored on the desktop, no problem, or any place. Then OK. Now the TMX is stored on the place that you have asked for. As easy as this. It's just easy. You export it in this way. How to import it? It's the opposite. Instead of saying export, you say import. But this time we do not have any translation memory other than this one. For this training, we do not need to import at all. Obviously, you can choose more than one memory for the same project, but not this one. This one is Arabic English, this one is English Arabic. If you have more than one memory, English Arabic, for this project you can store information in both memories without any problem. Naturally, you can delete the memory. There are other steps that are for the advanced users that we will not discuss here, to export the TMX into other formats, or to change the direction between English Arabic and Arabic English. In fact, yes, you can. This was English Arabic. In order to make it Arabic English, you have to do a process which is a bit advanced, and we will not talk about it in this lesson, but please follow up with other lessons on the advanced levels, so hopefully we will cover all of these issues. We'll go now to the term base. Now the same thing will happen here with the term base that we have been doing with the memory. You have a friend and you want to share him with the glossary that you have made with the term base, and you want him to use this term base in the translation so that you preserve consistency. First of all, you have to make export. To export this, you have to highlight it first and then go to the export terminology. But please now follow the steps. And now these specific steps are just for the English and Arabic combinations. They may not apply to other languages. Each language has its own encoding systems whatsoever. In order for you to export it without any errors, now we will repeat this step. First of all, I said highlight, right click, export terminology. What you need to do now is, first of all, remove these ticks from the right field headers in the first row. Remove also this one. Change this one from comma to tab. Go to the UTF and change it into Unicode Little Indian. This is for Arabic. What you need now next to do is to erase everything here. I'm removing them except only one field. Please remove them. Remove them here. Remove everything except this one, the term text. Please keep it as is. So just the term text and other things, just erase them. Export as CSV. Also choose the browse the location that you want to locate the file and then export. Press now export. You're done. It should now be on the here. It's on the desktop, and you can import it safely to any term base that you have between English and Arabic. So, well, I think with this I have finished this course, which is the basic operator course in MemoQ. There are much more advanced options that I will not talk about this time, but maybe in the future courses. Please follow us on Arab Translators Society. Our Professional Translators Society is a non-profit organization, and we offer these training courses free of charge. As we said from the very beginning, we do not represent MemoQ. We are just explaining how to use MemoQ from a professional point of view. Thank you very much for listening and for following up for these 4 lessons. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.